Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles. Along with me, as always, my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, and gunner, Jacob Gloth. How you doing today, Jacob?
I'm swell. How are you, Charles?
I'm good. Are you ready to pitch a brand new televisual series?
I am. So I had another pitch about how much I don't like Don't Worry, Darling.
Don't Worry,
and here it is. Boom. Bang.
Well,
boom.
Put that away, because we're not pitching a televisual series today.
That's good, because I don't actually have one.
Good, because I'm taking your lead from a few episodes ago, and I'm pitching a film. A film, I say, a film.
Goddamn copycat.
Yeah, I've been inspired by the greatest cinematic masterpiece of our generation.
The Liberty Project?
Black Adam.
Oh, I thought you were talking about my movie.
No.
The greatest non-existent cinema masterpiece.
No, Black Adam is the greatest.
You haven't seen Black Adam. We talked about this before we started.
I haven't seen Black Adam, but it's great.
How are you inspired by a movie you haven't seen?
Because the film that I'm going to be pitching today is Superman and Lobo. That's the film. That's the title.
Oh, we're doing a property thing.
Yeah.
It's not ours.
Yeah, we are.
Woo. Excited. We haven't done one of those in a while.
We haven't. And I'm like, you know, I feel like, Superman, get off of Earth. What are you doing on Earth? Right? Like, you know, maybe in the comics that's fine because there's all sorts of like crazy shit going on Earth. But like in the DCAU or DCEU, it's like, come on, Superman, go out in space and do some fun space adventures. Every Superman movie has taken place in Metropolis in Kansas, and that's been it. And I'm like, go somewhere else, you know? Except for that one time he goes to China and he rebuilds the walls with his eyes or whatever. But, like, let's go into space and meet some crazy space creatures and do all sorts of fun stuff. So, that's what I'm doing. Today we're going to be talking about Superman and Lobo. It's a buddy cop comedy space adventure.
Oh, I see. It's kind of like Superman and Lois, but it's Superman and Lobo. Oh.
See, you get it. Although I think Lobo and Superman is a better title, but nobody knows who Lobo is, so I don't want to put him first billing, you know?
Yeah.
But,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Superman and Lobo is better because you got the Superman and Lois.
Yeah, that does work. That is fun. But this is it's a buddy cop
On the cover, if this was a
comedy.
comic book, or I guess you could do it for the movie poster, you have to take a famous cover with Superman and Lois Lane on it, but, you know, switch Lois Lane with Lobo, but you still got Lois Lane's clothes on.
Yeah, paste.
Because you're like, it's
like,
funny because he's wearing Lois Lane's clothes, but he's Lobo.
Yeah, he is.
Name starts with an L, and so does hers.
Yeah, and he's fun, and he's a journalist. No, he's not. He's a mass murderer. Lobo, citizen journalist. He's got Twitter.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be a funny thing that Lobo just has Twitter. He just doesn't live on Earth, but he has Twitter. That could be fun. No, probably not.
All right, where are we going, Charles?
Where's
this movie starting?
This movie starts in medias res. Superman is walking into a bar on Forma Belt.
Because he drinks all the time.
Yeah, well, he's meeting a friend there. He walks into a bar on Firma Belt, an intergalactic trade hub, and meets up with his old friend, John Stewart. GL, Green Lantern, John Stewart. And they, you know, get into a talk. They start talking. They start, you know, reminiscing about old times, about all the adventures that they had that we don't get to see, you know. They start talking about stuff. And just as Superman's about to get into why he left Earth and why he's, you know, in space right now, a brash, loud, angry Lobo wanders into the bar and drunkenly demands the bartender give him all the beer that they have. And you know, this bar it's going to be like kind of like a 50s diner meets like 70s sci-fi situation. And then it's going to be a very friendly atmosphere. All sorts of crazy alien creatures, and they're all having fun. It's not a dive, you know. There's waiters and stuff. It's nice. And then as soon as Lobo walks in, it becomes like the friendly atmosphere is broken by this loud dick. Right?
Music stops, record skips.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And like the bartender, you know, says, "Oh, sorry, sir, I can only give you, you know, one serving of beer at a time," or whatever. And Lobo, without hesitation, just blows the bartender's head off. Because that's the kind of guy
Oh.
Lobo is. Just walks in, blows the bartender's head off. And GL
Superman's not gonna like that.
and Superman, they get right up and they're like, maybe we can have a scene or we can have a shot where like he's in his regular like maybe space clothes and he's just like having a good time talking with Superman, and Superman's in his Superman clothes because
He's Superman.
he's Superman, that's what he wears. And then GL powers up his ring, his whole costume comes on, and then there's just this big cool 3-way brawl within the first 5 to 10 minutes of the movie between Superman, Lobo, and Green Lantern. Because I think we haven't had enough Superman fistfight somebody who isn't just him, Like, because that's what Man of Steel was. He just gets into a fistfight in an IHOP with a guy who has the same powers as him. But Lobo doesn't just have all the same powers as him. He doesn't have heat vision, but he's arguably stronger. He can regenerate faster. Hey, Lobo's pretty strong, bro.
He's not strong as Superman.
Maybe not. Maybe not prime
Not even
Superman.
a question.
But Lobo's, he's got weapons too. He's got that big hook on a chain that he wears, and he's got a shotgun. We can give him some like bombs and stuff, And so he and Green Lantern are fighting, and it's this big thing. Green Lantern's, hitting him with cool constructs, because I don't want to do boring constructs, because that's another thing that I think that all comic book media gets wrong. Not all gets wrong, but like they don't do enough interesting constructs. It's all just like, oh, he's got a sword, and then he's got a gun, and then he's got a big punchy fist that he uses to punch guys or whatever.
Battle axe, yeah.
That's kind of lame,
Hit him with a pirate ship.
Hit him with a pirate ship, or like,
Hit him with the HMS Queen Elizabeth.
something fun, something that's like, oh, yeah, he's been in space for years. Surely the first thing he thinks of when he wants to defend himself isn't a sword from Earth, a fucking cutlass that pirates use. So it's like, this cool fight, there's all this destruction, and just as it's about to hit its climax, like maybe Superman is like laser visioning Lobo through the chest, but Lobo's like beating Green Lantern in the face while Green Lantern's like trying to, get out of his way. Just as all that's happening, this big planet-wide siren goes off. Just whamp, 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 And they all look up, all three of them, they look up, and they see this giant ship floating in the upper atmosphere. And they hear this voice, this metallic, artificial, but also organic voice that's speaking, and it says, "Hello, residents of Firmabelt, I am Brainiac." Right? Oh shit, It's Brainiac. He's coming in. He's about to fucking destroy this planet. He's gonna that's his thing. He absorbs all of the knowledge from a planet, and then he blows it up so they can't make any more knowledge.
Damn, this planet's really lucky that Superman just happens to be here.
Yeah, Superman and Green Lantern. Mm-hmm. Right, so they're like, all right, cool. So they just kind of leave Lobo, because Lobo's like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm just gonna go. He gets on his
he can to get out in the confusion.
Yeah, so he gets on his cool space motorcycle, his space chopper, and he has his pod of intergalactic space dolphins, telepathic space dolphins that are fly around with him, and Lobo like fucks off, and Superman and Green Lantern rock up to Brainiac's ship. And they get there, and they're like, all right, Brainiac, you stay away from this planet. This is protected by Superman, that's me, and Green Lantern, that's this guy. And Jon Stewart's like, hi, it's me, I'm Green Lantern. I'm here to protect this planet. And Brainiac is like, oh, Kal-El, how interesting to meet you here, because I've been working with some ancient Kryptonian tech I've just, rediscovered, and I found something that I think you might find interesting. And he blasts him. Like, Superman and Green Lantern, they're in the ship, talking with a construct of Brainiac, because Brainiac's not actually there. And he blasts him. He fires the cannon at him, blows him through the wall, and Superman's knocked to the ground. And, he could still, he kind of rights himself. He could still fly, but then he tries to laser, and his eyes don't work. and he tries to punch the ship, knock it over, and he's kind of like, he's got super strength still, but he's not got Superman strength. He's just got like regular super strength, right? He's as strong as, let's say, I don't know, give me somebody who's strong, but not that strong. Say he's as strong as Hawkman.
Okay.
So he's got his power. He's gotten a little depowered, and Green Lantern's in there, and GL. He can't stand up to Brainiac by himself, right? That's like Brainiac is a Justice League level threat, and he can't just do it alone. So he gets hit with a teleporter that knocks him to the other side of the galaxy. He gets teleported all the way to the other side of the galaxy. And so Superman, he's down there. He's trying to help people. He's getting all these people to as many people to safety as he can. But he realizes that without without all of his powers, he's kind of screwed. He doesn't really have, very many options. And then we cut back to Lobo. He's, just about to leave the planet's atmosphere when he's captured, tractor beamed in by Brainiac, who's like, "Oh, I know you, Lobo, and I haven't seen these dolphins before, so guess what? They're mine, and I'm gonna fire you back at this planet, and then you're gonna die down there." And so Lobo is shot back down onto the planet, and he's knocked for a loop, and he's a bit flustered. And just as he gets his bearings, Brainiac's ship warps away, and it's just gone. With the only thing left it being this like huge planetary weapon that's sitting in the atmosphere that fires a laser beam at the planet, which causes it to implode, right? Oh. And so Superman, knowing Lobo and knowing the fact that he will never go against, that's one of Lobo's character traits, is that he will never renege on a deal. When he makes a deal with someone, he will always follow through. That's one of his things. So Superman, kind of unwillingly, but he realizes that there's nothing else he can do. He decides, well, gotta make a deal with the devil. And so he's like, "Lobo, I will help you get your dolphins back if you help me get off this planet and find Brainiac." And Lobo shakes on it, and he's like, "All right, cool, let's do this." And so they commandeer a ship, and Superman's kind of, he's pissed about it, but also he can't really do anything. Like, he doesn't want to take a ship from anyone, but his powers are being depleted, slowly but surely. Or not being depleted, but his powers are much weaker now. So he's like, "Ah, shit."
Yeah.
So they get off the ship, get off the planet, and I think it would be fun if we have, like, a cool shot of them flying away and Superman, looking back at the planet and, he tries to listen in to hear if anything's going on, but he can't because his super hearing's not back anymore. He didn't have it anymore. And just as, they're getting away, the planet implodes in this fiery hellhole, and Superman's he's pretty bummed about it. And then Lobo makes an off-color remark because he doesn't care. He's Lobo. He is chaos incarnate. He doesn't give a shit about any of this stuff. But, Superman, is like, "Hey, cut it out. We're going to meet some friends of mine. They might be able to help me, might be able to help us find out where Brainiac is holed up, at least in this quadrant of the galaxy." Because this version of Brainiac is a hive mind situation, so he's got all of these separate organic, techno-organic organisms that are, working in tandem. Their minds are all one, but their bodies are different, and they're, stationed at different parts of the galaxy where they, go out and they send out drones and robots and ships and stuff to collect information and do their whole thing. And then, that sort of thing, right? Because I don't want the movie to end with them killing Brainiac, but just stopping him. That's what I'm interested in, because that will that allows for some fucking future movies. But Superman and Lobo, they go to this envoy. They meet with this envoy from this weird gelatin-like single-celled organism species that Superman has saved in the past. You know, he helped them out back in the day when they were being attacked by Despero or whatever. Let's say it's Despero. And these, if anyone is wondering where I got the inspiration for these guys, it's from Batman the Brave and the Bold. There's an episode where Batman and Blue Beetle go into space and they save like a whole race of like pacifist gelatin dudes who are all like one cell. They're like, you know, the size of a small dog, but they're one cell. And they save them all, and it's a whole thing. And I always liked their design. I always thought they were cute and fun. And so Superman meets up with them, and he's like, "Hey, I saved your life. What's good?" And you know,
why does Superman sound like that?
No, maybe.
Hey, I saved your life. He's from Metropolis, not New York.
Hey yo, I saved your fucking life. I'm from Kansas. This is what Kansonians sound like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Superman goes there, and, you know, on the way we can have some fun banter between Lobo and Superman where they can discuss, you know, what's going on. Lobo can be like, what's a, you know, Earth boy like yourself doing all the way out here? And Superman's like, like I tell you, you're a, you know, a genocidal maniac. And then Lobo is like, yeah, maybe I did, you know, kill my entire home planet just so that I was unique when I traveled the galaxy, but at least I'm unique. At least I accept the fact that I'm the last of my species. You keep trying to, you know, reinvent your species, bring them back with shrunken cities or clones or whatever. It's pathetic. Cal. He's like, my name's not Cal. It's Clark. You know? And then they get there and they meet with this envoy. We can come up with a fun meeting place. Maybe they meet him at like should be like a cool religious temple that's on like an asteroid floating, or maybe it's like on this green verdant world. And there's like no, because there's a green verdant world later in the movie.
Okay.
But how about this? They get it's a man-made asteroid, right? So it's like all technology. But it's floating in space, and it's like this weird pseudo-religious, you know, scientific research base.
Pseudo.
Yeah, pseudo.
Bunch of pseudists.
Pseudists.
Sounds like an insult.
It does sound like an insult.
It might be. I don't actually know.
I don't think it's a word. I think we just made it up. Pseudists. But they meet there, and, you know, Superman is there, and he's polite, and Lobo's a dick, and that's kind of their dynamic. This part of the movie is really just setting up the dynamic of the two characters, you know, because they're basically opposites. One is the nicest guy in the world, one's the meanest guy in the world, and, like, how do they, you know, interact? How's their...
Galaxy.
How's their thing? Yeah. And so they're on the planet. They'll you know, meet the dudes. They'll have the customs. They'll eat the cool, you know, food. They'll have a weird, you know, thing. Lobo will be like, "This is crazy." Superman will be like, "Hey, come on, it's fine. They're nice."
Hey, come on, I'm Superman.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what he sounds like.
That is Superman's voice. And personality. Hey, yo, come on, fucking spaghetti, bolognese.
Always cursing. That's Superman. Always hearing him curse.
Yeah, and so they meet with them, and these guys, they are able to direct Superman and Lobo to this local Brainiac base where all of the, you know, local Brainiac attacks have been originating from, right? This, what is it? They give them accords to an asteroid on the, and this is Lobo talking, ass end of this system, right? So they get on there, and while they're meeting up, maybe Superman and Lobo, like, they go to sleep, they spend the night there. Superman's resting and recuperating. Maybe he, like, we could have, like, a cool scene where he video calls Kara, his Supergirl, his cousin, and sees how the planet is handling him and handling him not being there. And she's like, "Oh yeah, it's fine, you know, Superboy and I, and like all the Justice League members are pitching in, and they're keeping an eye on Metropolis and all this stuff. And if we need you, we'll contact you. And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Thank you, Kara, and have a good one. Whatever. Hang up. Lobo's there. He's turned the ship, right, that they stole from the planet that exploded or imploded.
Yeah.
He's altered that ship and used the technology from the weird little single-celled organism guys to make himself a chopper. Because, his chopper got destroyed. His big, cool space chopper.
Like a bike.
Yeah, like a motorcycle.
Not like a helicopter.
Yeah, no, not like a helicopter. Not like a big knife that he uses to cut up vegetables and put in a chicken pot pie. It's a chopper motorcycle. And he's like, vroom, vroom. And his got destroyed on the planet. And so he's like, builds a new one, and it's, it's going to be all cool and badass and fun. We're going to have a fun, we're going to have a fun song that goes along with it. Probably bad to the bone. Bad. That one,
Yep.
And at Superman, and he builds Superman a little sidecar. Just because he's a dick like that. And Superman's like, I can fly, right? It's like, yeah, but I don't know. You might get tired. Your legs might get tired. I don't know. So they start going. Superman he hasn't gotten his powers back all the way, but he has like the ray that Brainiac shot him with has slowly but surely is wearing off. And so they get on their ship, on their chopper, and they're driving to the other side of the galaxy other side of the system to meet to find Brainiac and kick his ass, as Lobo puts it. When they're attacked, their chopper is shot out of the sky by a Brainiac drone that knows they're coming, right? Oh my god, what the fuck? Their chopper is shot out of the sky, they go down, they land on this big, beautiful, green, verdant alien paradise. But, little caveat to this alien paradise. What do planets do with suns? They revolve. I'll say it revolves. Yeah, it revolves.
What do planets do
with suns? What's that called? Is it revolving? There's something. It has a different name. It revolves.
What do planets do?
It revolves around a red sun. And if you don't know anything about Superman, this is a little crash course. Red sun radiation means that he doesn't have his superpowers because he gets his powers from the yellow sun radiation of Earth's sun, and when he's in a red sun, he doesn't have any powers. He's basically just like a normal dude, right?
Yeah.
And so Lobo, he initially thinks to himself, oh, well, this guy, this Kryptonian doesn't have any powers. He's useless to me. Whatever. I don't care. I'll leave him. But then Superman reminds him, hey, we have a deal. And Lobo's like, shit.
Oh.
Because the only rule he has is that when he makes a deal, he sticks to it. And so he's got to be like, God damn it. And so Lobo and Superman have this fun little section of the movie where they're like Robinson Crusoeing it. They're working together to survive and thrive on this alien paradise. They're killing monsters, setting up traps, hunting, fishing, that sort of thing, building a little home, that sort of thing. And they're able to use the remnants of other crashed ships to build a beacon. And so that's really what they're doing. And this part of the movie is more so going to be them just discussing stuff, talking about life, all this stuff. Lobo's talking about his what he's done and how, I fought God and I fought the devil. I killed both of them. I don't care. I'm the baddest bastard around. And Superman's like, oh, Lobo, I know you're not as much of a hard ass as you think you are, Nobody who's as rough and tumble as you say you are would keep around a pod of dolphins. And Lobo's like, fuck you. And so this is the character development moment. This is when Superman and Lobo, they stop being, just like, I mean, they don't stop being, but they become a little bit more than just like unwilling partners because they're stuck with each other now, and they, maybe Lobo laughs at one of Superman's jokes. Superman makes a dirty joke and Lobo laughs at it and thinks it's funny.
Superman would not make a dirty joke.
I know, but but it'll be fun. It's a more fun version of Superman. He makes a dirty joke.
Superman's fun.
Superman is fun, but he makes a dirty joke in this one. He's talking about, I don't know, boobs.
We don't need to know.
Yeah, he's, when he makes a dirty joke and Lobo laughs, and, maybe Superman gets attacked by a saber-toothed tiger. And, but it's a space saber-toothed tiger, so it's got to have a big long tail that's got a stinger or something, because it's space. And everything in space is mean and wants to kill you. And this I want, because I want a lot of different Superman looks in this movie, or not a lot of different ones, but a few different ones. And this Superman look is going to be bearded, hairy, sword-wielding Superman. He's gonna make a sword. He's gonna craft one because he doesn't have his powers, so he needs some tools. So he's gonna build a sword, and he's gonna grow a beard, and Lobo and Superman are gonna be on this planet for, a while, waiting to be rescued because Lobo's chopper is shit out of luck. It's been not destroyed. It's been dismantled by the Brainiac drones, and he needs some more advanced technology to get rid of the viruses that the Brainiac drone uploaded onto it, right? And so they're whatever, they're having a good time, and then eventually their beacon gets heard. Oh, who is this? Who has come down to save them? Hopefully it's someone cool that we know and was in who is in 2 fan favorite animated children's shows. That's right. They're saved by a Tamaranian cruiser, captained by one Starfire. Yeah.
Oh.
You didn't see that coming, did you? Starfire's in this one. And she's got a buddy, her second in command, Adam Strange. No, not Dick Grayson. Adam Strange. Only space characters. No Earth characters.
Yeah, Superman. Super big space character.
He is a space from space.
And I guess you're right.
He's a space character. But it's Adam Strange, the guy with the little fin and the jetpack and the laser gun. I guess actually Adam Strange is from Earth, but he was transported to a space planet where he became their greatest hero. And so he counts, though. He counts as a space character. So does Starfire, even though she mostly spends time on Earth, because she's from space. Yep. But they rescue him, and there's this big how do you do, because Starfire she never reached the level of hero that she was kind of wanted to on Earth, right? She was always kind of like a B tier hero. She wasn't at the same level as Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman or Green Lantern, right? She was a B grade hero, and so she's like, I left.
A lot of competition on Earth.
Yeah, exactly. And so she went into space, where she's become this cool Han Solo sort of badass, bounty hunter, space captain hero situation. She's, got a whole crew of weird aliens and stuff. And Superman explains to her the situation, and she's like, well, I've never known you to fight for a cause that was not worthy. I will lend you my sword. It's a metaphorical sword, but it's a sword nonetheless. And, Adam Strange and Superman and Lobo and Starfire, along with Starfire's, crew, are like, well, then we're gonna attack Brainiac. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get all up in his space thing and beat him up. And so they develop a plan, right? Of course, because you need a plan to be doing something like this. So their plan is, because Brainiac's defenses are kind of purpose-built to stop people like Superman and Lobo, really hard-hitting guys like that. That's who he expects. And so what is going to happen is Starfire is going to lead a frontal assault on Brainiac's fortress, while Superman and Lobo work together to use their super strength to burrow through the back end of the asteroid and get into the bottom of Brainiac's fortress, like the basement levels, and then they're gonna fight their way up and find Brainiac and stop him, right? So that's what's going on. There's all sorts of Adam Strange. He's flying around. He's got his jetpack. Maybe he's got some space friends. You know, we could have a little cameo from one of my personal favorite characters ever, the Batman of Zorinar. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he's got a...
They put him into main continuity recently.
Yeah, they just...
Not really, but kind of.
They made him... He's like Batman's alternate persona that he created because...
But that's not who he originally was. If you remember from the hit cartoon Batman Brave and the Bold.
Oh!
He was in that.
Yeah, he was in that.
Kevin Conroy played him in that.
Exactly, I was just about to say, voiced by Kevin Conroy. A good episode, even. But, yes, so Batman of Zorinar, he's in like a weird bat ship. You know, they get a whole bunch of people, like Adam Strange and Starfire and Superman use their contacts. Maybe even Lobo uses a few of his contacts, but they're all like seedy, bastards. Because that's the kind of guy Lobo is. And they attack Brainiac's fortress. And then Superman and Lobo break into the back of Brainiac's fortress and like get in. There's all sorts of fights. We will have a scene where they walk through the planet, through the, Brainiac always has a room where he keeps all the cities shrunken down, right? He's got one of those. So we could do that. We could have one where it was Lobo's home planet. It's the, like, last surviving, piece of civilization from Lobo's home world. And then we can, depending on how dark we want to get, Lobo can just, like, when Superman isn't looking, just, like, break it. Just to knock it over and kill everyone. And he's like, now I'm the only one. I did it. I'm right, folks. But yeah. All sorts of fun stuff. Big robots. We're gonna have big monsters that Superman and Lobo have to fight. And, yeah. One thing I want to focus on a lot in the action sequences of this movie would be single shot, like single, take, not take, single shot, like
single take, yeah,
single take. They're not allowed to drag
all right,
them.
Henry Cavill, I want you to fly over there, all right, punch Lobo, and then whoever's playing Lobo, you gotta like come back over here, blah blah blah, huge action sequence. All right, go. And he's like, I can't actually fly, Mr.
Well, then
Zack
why
Snyder,
the fuck did
man.
we hire you?
Why? Get out of here. Next Superman, let's go.
I'll do it. Oh shit. I look way worse in this Superman costume.
Yeah.
My muscles aren't nearly bulky enough. But yeah, Superman and Lobo, they're fighting their way through. It's a fun, like, they started off as enemies, now they're fighting on the same side, and they're doing all sorts of fun stuff. Maybe they do a thing where Superman grabs Lobo's arms and Lobo like kicks all the guys while Superman turns him around, that sort of thing. But yeah, I want to have like single shot action sequences, John Wick style action sequences, but with Superman, because audiences aren't impressed by a very strong guy anymore. They just aren't. You need to have a little bit more something to it, right? That's what I think.
Superman's great. You get the hell out of here.
Superman is great, and that's why I think movies should do a better job of making him look cool and do cool things and be fun and cool. Superman's great, and I want him to be done justice. I don't want to make Man of Steel 2. I don't want to watch Man of Steel. Man of Steel is boring. I know.
I mean, yeah, but no, Henry Cavill said it's going to be fun.
Good.
It's gonna be he said an overly joyful Superman is coming. Or something
Come on. See?
Superman.
Take us up on our offer of this film, Henry Cavill. Also, Lobo.
This is not an overly joyous Superman.
This is a fun. He's making a dirty joke. That's fun.
No.
He's, punching guys. He's talking to, like, little single-celled organism dudes. There's dolphins. It's all sorts of fun. But, yeah. But Superman, he's still not at 150% power. He's just at, like, he's like at 90% of his power. And so he's still, there's still a bit of trouble. And they're getting overwhelmed. Lobo and Superman, they're being overwhelmed by robots and lasers and all this stuff. And it's like, oh God, Are we gonna make this? What's happening? Oh, jeez. When all of a sudden, a bright green light bursts through the walls of Brainiac's fortress.
Deus Ex Machina.
And Jon Stewart walks in and
Han
says,
Solo moment in A New Hope.
Did you miss me? Yeah, I was actually I think I have written down in my notes, Jon Stewart does a Han Solo moment and saves the day, turns the tide of the battle. But yeah.
Woohoo.
And then
He goes, Yahoo!
Yeah, exactly.
Just like
I would
Han Solo.
love him to do a Yahoo. But and then we cut back.
His construct is the Millennium Falcon. We're really leaning into this.
Yes, exactly. That would be great. Maybe his construct is just he's flying a giant Chewbacca. Not even a
I'm sure you
Millennium
can get the rights for that.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Listen, Disney loves me. I've not talked shit on them in over 2 hours, and they love that.
Yeah. And I usually cut it out anyway, so.
But, yeah, and then we explained Jon Stewart was like, he got teleported to the other side of the galaxy, and then he immediately started flying back, and he's, kind of been following the trail that Superman and Lobo have been leaving, and he discovered the signal that they made on that weird, paradise planet, and then he used that to track them down, and then saw the battle. He came in, and he saves the day. And Superman and Lobo, with the help of Jon Stewart and Starfire and Adam Strange, they all kick Brainiac's ass and blow up his thing. And Lobo is able to save his dolphins, and they all escape, and it's a happy ending for everyone. And Lobo and Superman, they part as equals, not as friends. They're not friends, but they're equals, and they respect one another. And there's a big handshake. Maybe there could be like a, Lobo, you're not as bad as I thought you were.
You're not so different, you and I.
But don't you ever come near Earth. Like, it could be a fun little thing at the end where he's like...
Yeah, you can be like, yeah.
You're not so bad, but also stay the fuck away from my home.
Never come near Earth.
Never come to Earth, or I will beat you up. And Lobo's like, we'll see about that. All right? And then this is...
He's like, no, I'm serious. I'm not joking right now. I will take you out.
He starts his motorcycle, he flips him off, and he drives away. But then Superman, he's had enough intergalactic space adventure. He's tired of it. He wants to go home. He wants to eat some Jimmy John's.
Wants to go be a father to his son that he just abandoned and his wife.
No, he didn't abandon his son and Lois and Lane.
Just abandoned his son.
He does.
And his wife. I'm gonna go to space for a little bit, guys. See ya.
He doesn't have that.
Father of the Year.
I've been thinking about this. He doesn't have a son at this point, and he and Lois Lane are on a break because of the... Not on a break like they stopped dating, but like Lois Lane is cool with him going to space because we're going to reveal he gets back to Earth. First place he goes, Smallville, Kansas. And on the top of a hill overlooking his family farm, there's this nice, beautiful oak tree standing guard over this, scenic view. And
his parents dead.
There's two little graves.
You killed his parents.
Martha Kent and whatever his dad's name was, Jonathan Kent. And, he was like, she died.
So this is all like a story of self-discovery after his parents died?
Well, it's just like he needs a bit of time, because it's like if you're like you've got a job and then your parents die, you take a bit of time off from your job to grieve. Superman's job is protecting Earth. So he took a little bit of time off and he went and had some space adventures. Right? So because throughout the movie we're going to hint at reason, like, why are you off Earth? Why aren't you protecting Earth right now? And Superman's going to be kind of cagey about it and not really ever answer the question. Then we're going to quietly, he's going to get there and he's going to make a vow. He's going to be like, I will always protect Earth and work in its benefit in your honor. Right? Because with his parents dead, Superman's like motivation.
With great power comes great responsibility.
But yeah, with his parents
actually.
dead.
With great power, there must also come great responsibility.
Yeah, it's not.
Because that's worse.
It's worse. It's worse written.
Come on, Stan Lee.
Yeah, Stan Lee. Why didn't you know things better in the 70s? 60s. You wrote in the 60s. But yeah, Superman is like, all right, let's get back to being Superman, saving the day and stuff. And that's the end. Happy ending. Then post-credit scene. Lobo at another space bar, being a cool dude. You know, smoking a cigar, telling stories about the time he totally beat up Superman and Green Lantern at the same time. When all of a sudden, Tef Black Adam walks into the bar, sits down, and says, "He pretty tough." Shoulder on the table, hand like this. Why don't you prove it? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Jason Momoa, who's playing Lobo in this movie, are about to arm wrestle, and that's the end. That's the end of the movie. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have written.
Okay.
But there is going to be a fun little scene, because I know Jason Momoa also plays Aquaman, and I think it would be fun if Superman, who is going to be played by Henry Cavill, has been like, "You look like somebody I know."
Really familiar? Nah.
Yeah, the fish guy. Yeah, he's a prick. That guy's a real douchebag. Yeah, so that's the movie I have written. It's a little short, fun, sweet buddy cop comedy action movie set in space. Superman and Lobo. Big ass.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's fun. I can see it.
I would see it too.
It's cool.
There'd be so many toys sold.
I think not sure this would be the big drive behind Superman toy sales. I think they've already got that covered.
Yeah, probably not. They would be a big drive in Lobo toy sales.
Maybe.
Because Lobo...
He probably doesn't have as nearly many toy sales. I'm sure he doesn't.
No, he definitely doesn't. Even though Lobo, one of my favorite DC characters of all time, period. Bar none. You know? He's great. He's fun. And also,
he's okay.
Stan Lee agrees with me. When asked, Stan Lee said, "Yeah, I think my favorite DC character is Lobo. He feels like a Marvel character. I wish I had made him. He's just so darn fun." Yeah. But yeah, that's the film. Superman and Lobo. A galaxy of fun.
No, just Superman and Lobo. You don't need to do that colon.
No more colon.
Crap.
No Dawn of Justice or any of that shit.
Batman and Superman. Dawn of Justice. Batman versus Superman.
Batman versus Superman versus the IRS.
Yeah.
Who do you think would win, Batman or the IRS?
It's definitely Batman.
Oh, yeah,
He's
for sure.
a billionaire.
Regular rich people don't
He
pay
can
their
hire
taxes.
an accountant who can do the math
Yeah.
and follow the law things.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for listening to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I've been your host, Charles. Along with me has always been my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, and gunner, Jacob Gloth. If you like what you heard here and you want to hear more, please give us a like, a follow, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell your cat, tell all of your Lobo action figures about the movie and what do they think about it. And please stay safe. You can find us pretty much everywhere podcasts are sold or not sold, just given away.
Yeah.
I was walking through the streets.
Not selling this stuff.
I was walking through the streets the other day, and there was a guy selling stolen like DVDs and stuff. You know, not stolen like he stole them. He like pirated DVDs.
Bootlegs.
And you know what I found? The Very Reasonable Pilots podcast.
Yeah.
On Volume 1 on VHS tape, episodes 1 through
Volume
100. Yeah, it's episodes 1
okay.
through 100.
Damn, that's a long volume 1.
Yeah, it is.
I could see 1 through like 50, you know?
Yeah, maybe 1
Volume
through
2
25.
through 50.
I've often wondered how it would look if we got like an episode pressed onto a vinyl.
That wouldn't work out.
It would be
Our episodes are way too long.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like 2 discs. It'd be great. But if you got every single episode of the podcast pressed onto a vinyl and then got a different artist to make each album cover, that would be the coolest thing ever. I would pay so much money for that. I
think it would be cool if we did every 10 or every 100th or every 50th.
Yeah, well, maybe we
You
just
know?
pick our favorites.
Because I don't. That's a lot of vinyls. No one would buy those.
I would buy all of them. Put them
I
in
wouldn't
my
want 121 vinyls. What am I? I'm gonna have to move that when I like switch places or put it anywhere.
Yeah, but then you can
It's very heavy.
you can bring a lady
I'm
over.
never gonna listen to it.
No, of course not. Why the fuck would I listen to it?
I would never listen to it.
Never. Because I could just do it on Spotify, and it sounds the same.
Yeah.
Or YouTube. But yeah, thank you all for listening, and have a good day. Stay safe out there. Okay, fair enough.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Have a good one.